Hello, today I'm going to talk about the Turing test and I'm going to apply it on poetry to see if computers are able to write poetry. First, I'm going to give you some information about the Turing test itself. It was created in 1950 by a man named Alan Turing in order to answer the question, can computers think? He believed that if a computer was able to have a text-based conversation with a human without a human noticing if he's talking to a computer or a human, then the computer can be said to have intelligence. Turing said that if a computer could fool a human into thinking it's a human 30% of the time, then it passes the Turing test for intelligence. We can also apply the Turing test on poetry by showing people a poem and they have to tell if it's written by a human or a computer. Here, the computer also passes the test when it can fool a human 30% of the time. Oscar Schwartz and Benjamin Laird created an online game called Bot or Not to test how many people could be fooled into believing a poem was written by a human when it was not. Through this game, they got an answer to the question if computers are able to write poetry. I'm going to explain the answer later. First, we're going to do the test ourselves. I'm going to show you two poems, and then you'll get a few seconds to decide which one is written by a human. Which one did you think was written by a human? Well, if you thought it was the right one, then you're wrong. If you chose the left one, congratulations. Bao Tofu was written by a woman named Li Po, and Come To Thee was written by an algorithm called RKCP. Before we go on to the next poems, I'm going to give you a short description of how RKCP works. You give RKCP a source text. It analyzes it in order to find out how it uses language, and then it regenerates language that imitates the first text. The important thing to know about RKCP is that it doesn't know the meaning of the words it's using. The language is just raw material, and it could be Chinese, it could be in Swedish, it could be the collected language from your Facebook feed, but it doesn't have a meaning to the algorithm. Let's see if you can distinguish the poem written by a human from the poem written by a computer with the next two poems. Which one is written by a human? Which one did you think was written by a human this time? Good job to the people who chose the right one. Eligibility was written by Paul Celan, and A Rough Pirate was written by ThinkZone Poetry Generator. In this generator, you have to make word lists and sentence patterns. The word lists are numbered, and for example, the first word list is a list of a few concrete nouns, the second one is a list of adjectives, the third one is a list with transitive verbs, and so on. In the sentence pattern, you have to fill in, for example, 3, 2, 1, and the first word will be one from the third list, the second word will be from the second list, and the third one will be from the first list. That way it creates a poem by picking random words from your list and putting them in the order you chose. When we look at the results from Bot or Not, where they showed one poem at a time, we can see that on average 42% of the people thought that the poems I showed you and were written by a computer were written by a human. So we can conclude that according to the Turing test, computers are able to write poems. However, they have to use the right algorithm, because there are many and some are more effective than others. Now we have an answer to our question, but what if we dig a little deeper? What if we reverse the Turing test? Does it still work then? Let's see. 49% of the people thought that Paul Celan was a computer. However, he's actually a human. Therefore, according to the logic of the reverse Turing test, Paul Celan is a computer. That's quite confusing, isn't it? And if we compare it to Li Po, only 27% thought that she was a bot. Does this mean that she's more human than Paul Celan, and that he's more like a computer than her? That sounds quite unbelievable. I don't think it's right to say someone is more like a computer than someone else. For some reason, we associate poetry with being human. So we're not only asking, can computers write poetry, but also, what does it mean to be human, and how do we put boundaries around this category? This is more of a philosophical question, and it can be just answered by a simple yes or no test like the Turing test. So with the Turing test, we're actually collecting opinions about what constitutes humanness. Of course, Li Po is not more human than Paul Celan, The category of human is just very unstable. It's something we create and change with our opinion.